Here we have the current stock market update for Super Micro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful with your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So as we can see here, share prices themselves have started to form a bit of a base here in the lower 380s. What we're starting to see is a share price momentum that's starting to build in the positive direction. So in this video, we will be looking at some specific support and resistance levels that can hopefully be used to establish some profitable trading strategies for this stock going forward. As we can see here, the share price itself has started to break above some prior resistance zones. And this does suggest that overall, the possibility that a bottom has formed in this stock is becoming increasingly plausible. However, we can't really assume that we're seeing a bottom. But the reason that we're looking at these shorter term time frames, and here we have the 15-minute price chart. The reason that we're focusing on these shorter term time frames for the moment is that this does give us a bit more information about near-term trend movements. It gives us better evidence to make a determination about whether or not a bottom could actually be in place, or whether lower ranges are starting to develop for share prices. So as things currently stand, what we can see here is that we have started to break above the exponential moving average cluster, and we have managed to continuously really find support right around those levels. So as we can see, this 20 period EMA, this yellow line here, really has worked fairly well to contain price action to the downside, and has brought a bit of a lift in situations where the share price has encountered that price zone. So this will be important going forward, because I think that if we do start to see a significant break back into that exponential moving average cluster, I think that that would probably be the end of the near-term rally movement in the upward direction. If we look at the indicator reading and the relative strength index, we can see that share prices themselves are really not trading in overbought territory at the moment. We have seen some activity move into there. That would be right around these prior highs, which came in near $470. But since then, we have seen share prices start to move in the downside direction in the relative strength index reading. And what this does tell us is that the underlying share price can continue to move higher for quite some time here without moving back into overbought territory. So the way things look, a retest of that $470 level shouldn't be enough to bring the indicator back into that overbought zone. Longer term, what we're seeing here is a clear upside price movement, trend movement that does suggest that bullish momentum is underlying the stock at the moment, and this will continue to be the case until we see a break back below this rising trend line here. This is rising fairly rapidly, so this is something that could occur here relatively soon. But if we continue to see share prices move higher, then we would be able to maintain that bullish indicator condition. So as things currently stand, we look at a bit of a longer term time frame here. What we can see currently is that this prior resistance zone coming in right around $465 has been broken to the top side. On a short term basis, we have broken above there and even seen some closing periods above there as well. But we did not see a weekly close or a daily close in that area. So that is a little bit worrisome, and it does suggest that share prices could start to stall out here. What you would really like to see at this point would be a daily close at least above 470. I mean, ideally, what you would want to see would be a price movement above this spike high here at 475, and then a daily close above there. But at the very least, a daily close above this 465 region should be sufficient, because this is where a triple top resistance zone had formed previously, and this other price high here is really just a spike high. Not really the major constructive formation that we're seeing in the underlying share price structure. So to the downside, if we were to see a break back below, I would call this 438.80. If we were to see a break below here, this would be a warning signal for anybody that's bullish on this stock. We can go ahead and write that in here. 438.80. So if we were to break below this area, this would mean that some recent support zones, historical support zones, have broken to the downside, and then additionally, we would also be trading below the entire exponential moving average cluster on the 15-minute price chart. So that is a bit of a shorter term price chart, but this does suggest that we could see a bit of a near term top here, and then more of at least a sideways consolidative type of trend movement rather than this continued movement to the top side. So, looking a bit more long term here, we can reset the view a bit and try to look at this price action from a bit of a longer term perspective here. A clear break above this prior gapping price zone would be significant, I think, for this stock. What we're seeing here is a price gap that starts right around $488. So if we were to see a break above there, you really could see some momentum, some added momentum that's generated for this stock because the top of that price gap really isn't seen until we reach back above $545. So that's a lot of share price activity, a lot of share price movement that might not be really apparent on the price chart itself, but in dollar terms, that's a fair amount of distance that can be seen here. So this was a very volatile price movement to the downside, and then the fortunate aspect of that is when you do see these price gaps, they do tend to be filled as share prices move back into that region. So as things stand, we're currently trading below some resistance levels at the moment. We really haven't managed to close above that 475 spike high. But if we were to close above there, then I do think that you're probably looking at the very least a retest of 488, and then a movement back above there should send share prices comfortably back above the $500 level. The main reason that I say that is because this price gap wouldn't be filled until we get close to $546. So that would be a fair amount of positive momentum that could be generated by that type of price move. From there, you would really have to start looking back at $630, which is a price level that we've been watching for the stock for quite some time. But I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. We do have a lot of wood to chop before we get to that point. And for me, this key level, this key kind of range here does exist right around $470 to that 488 top. That would mark the upper end of the bearish price gap that occurred for this stock. So here are some price levels to watch to the upside and the downside. Here's the current stock market analysis for Super Micro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.